We are live, I think. Hello, everybody. Hello, Rui.
Hello,
Welcome,
everyone.
everybody. So, some people are already here, 13 people, 14 now. So, let's wait a few seconds, but I can start. So, welcome, everybody. Welcome to the last webinar of the year, and also the last webinar of this series. So, some of you, I think, also came to the other webinars. So we made this series of AI for founders, and today is the last one. I'm very excited and curious and interested to see what we will show us about speech AI. And that's it. So before that, I want to share some important information. So as the other webinars, today we're gonna spend more or less 1 hour and a half here, and Hui is planning to talk for let's say 1 hour and 10 minutes, and then leave the last 20 minutes for Q&A. But you can already leave your questions, your comments there in the chat. You also have a section only for Q&A. So please ask there your questions, and we will answer all your questions at the end. Also use the chat to, I'm already seeing lots of people here welcoming us, and also some of you saying where you are watching us. So please share with us from where you're watching us. It's always great to see so many people from different countries, different places. And so before I pass the mic, I just want to introduce Hui. So Hui is not a new face. You already know Hui from the other webinars. And yeah, like I know that I'm repeating always this, but for today, especially today, I think that Hui is a perfect person to talk about this, because I know that Hui had his own startup in the past that was related with speech AI. So he's gonna also tell a little bit about that experience. And so I'm very, very excited to hear this and to support once again this kind of knowledge for founders. One last note, so maybe some of you already know, some of you don't know. I just want to share a little bit about Altar and why we are doing this. So Altar, the company where we work, so is this software and product house that helps other entrepreneurs to launch their products. It could be an MVP, or it could be already like a startup or a scale up in many different product challenges. And yeah, like of course, AI is already a reality for us every day. And like 2 months ago, we thought, okay, maybe we should share some of all this knowledge with the other founders, because AI is always moving faster and faster. Even when I was discussing with Rui some of this content, like every day new things were coming up. And so it's very important for a founder, of course, to feel that they are at least surfing the wave of AI. And maybe we can help you, some of you, also to use AI in your challenges. And so this is our goal always at Altar, is to help other entrepreneurs. Even if we don't work together directly, at least we are sharing some of this knowledge. And yeah, that's why we have here Rui today once again. So welcome, Rui, and I will pass the mic.
Thank you, Flip. Thank you. I'm so excited for today. Thank you for your time, for joining. I see people from Seattle, from Paris, from Hawaii, Austin, Toronto. I'm really honored to share today's webinar. I am very excited about this topic, and I have a lot to cover today. I was preparing this webinar, and I thought I wanted to share so many tools. There's so many tools out there, and so let's dive in. And I'll move fast today to deliver the most amount of value. If you have questions, just put them in the chat. I'll see if they're relevant to answer right away. because I might not check the thread of the chat at the same time, put them in the Q&A so we make sure to get to them at the end. And yeah, let's dive in. Okay, so I'm going to join from another computer very quickly. Today I have a bit of a more complicated setup, but totally worth it. Okay. You should now be able to see my screen. Okay, and we are 6 minutes in, so let's go. Let's talk about speech AI. Welcome to the third webinar of this webinar series of AI for Founders by Altar. In today's webinar, the topic is a topic that I'm so excited about, speech AI. And a little bit about myself. My name is Rui. If you've been to the last webinars, you've seen this slide before. Over the last 7 years, I've worked on bringing AI to products across different industries and roles. And I've worked with companies like Google and NVIDIA. And I've also been kind of a solopreneur and then an entrepreneur, going from idea to launching companies. And I've learned so much on that journey. And today I want to share what I've learned with you on this path. We'll cover 3 things. So we'll cover today applications, technologies, and tools of speech AI. And hopefully, through my excitement, you'll get inspired. I'll cover a lot of ground and move fast. And this is purposely so that I can deliver the most amount of value in these 90 minutes. And you can access the recording afterwards. So don't worry about trying to catch up or annotate all of the tools. Just relax and enjoy. And you feel free to come back to the recording afterwards and also share it with others that you see might be useful. I want to share here this slide so you have all the information. I won't speak over it. There's a lot of information. So what I invite you to do is you can screenshot this slide and already have a list of the things that we covered today. I'm going to export this presentation after, and you can reach out to me for a PDF of the presentation. But the point here is that with this screenshot, you already have a list of tools of speech AI and applications and technologies. And these are the ones that we will be covering today. I'll dive deeper. So this slide is really just for capturing. I don't know if you got a chance to capture that. I'll leave it for a second. Let me go into the chat and just check. Okay, one more second, and then we go. So, getting myself bigger here. So far, I've started the webinars with this image of a little monkey. It's a reminder that I'm a slow evolving being with a lot of tools around me that are evolving very fast. And my job is to stay curious and look at these tools and see how they can be useful for me. How can I make the best use of each of these tools? And I've put myself in this position of a presenter, in this case, this presenter monkey, and I've been sharing what I found through experimentation with the hopes of inspiring you to test tools and to see new pathways to bringing AI into your life and business. In the first webinar, we did a lot of things manually, and in the second one, I shared automations. We looked into how you can build systems once and have them stay kind of as a part of your operations and support your life and business. And today, we're going to a completely new level. So if the goal was to go manual first, and then go to automations, today is about the next level, and the next level is a place where we merge with the tools. So in a way, it becomes hard to distinguish human and machine, and that's where AI is going now. That it's becoming harder and harder for humans to identify, is this AI or is this machine? And so I'm going to attempt something pretty crazy today. I don't know if I will be able to do it, but if time allows, I will try to demo 10 AI tools. I think, I was testing this with Philippe before, and I got to 7. I want to make sure that I cover them. So maybe I don't need to demo all of them. I'll mention all of them. But I'm trying to give a lot of the value around this area of speech AI. And looking at the time, I'll try to do that in the next hour. So in the next hour, just share a lot of tools and hopefully, inspire. So I've set the timer, and now we can start. So why are we talking about speech AI? Speech is humans' default communication method, right? I'm here speaking, I'm not here typing, because I naturally evolved to communicate via speech. And just now AI and technology is catching up to that method of communication, which has a lot of applications. We can have seamless interaction with AI where we come to not know if we are talking with an AI or a human. And that leads to better user experience from products or services or interacting with organizations. There's huge potential for content marketing, which we'll explore today. A lot of marketing is based on content, and that can be video, audio, text-based, and AI is really streamlining the creation of these processes. We'll talk about sales intelligence and customer service with chat and AI conversational agents, and also audio intelligence, and also internal operations. So there's a lot of applications for this technology, and I hope that you will also see potential for your own applications, which you will be able to tell me at the end when I show you the different technologies. Just like in the previous presentations, I make a few breaks here and there for water and breathing so that we go from fast-paced capturing the information to then pausing and digesting the information, because in an hour it's going to be a lot. So yeah, let's have a fast but also take times to breathe kind of pace. A side note. So I'm really passionate about speech AI. I quit my job in 2021. I had a very interesting job working in partnership with Amazon and Google and NVIDIA, and I quit that job to go start a startup around speech AI. And I did that because I saw the potential of AI to lower the cost of production of audio, particularly in creating audiobooks. I thought that if I can create an audiobook with an AI and have that be similar quality than something that is created in studio, and I looked at the cost of creating something in studio, which was between $3,000 and $10,000 per audiobook, I thought I can make it 70 times, 100 times cheaper and hundreds of times faster to produce. And that is basically, that was 3 years ago, and now it is reality. And it's super, super exciting, and it opens up a lot of opportunities for content marketing, which we'll explore, not only in more content creation, but also in content creation across more languages that typically wouldn't have that content be produced because they're smaller markets. And so I went through this journey, and now I want to share all that I've learned on this journey with you. And so let's go. With this groovy monkey, we can dive into technologies. We can go and explore this world of speech AI. There are a lot of technologies, and no need to kind of memorize all of these, all of this list. But if you're here, you probably know what speech to text means. You know, it's grabbing speech in a meeting and having a transcription of the meeting, which I'm sure you've used. It's very common today, and it was technology that simply wasn't there 2 years ago, and now it's common. Like if I do a Zoom call, or if I do any type of call, it's just I've been in meetings with more AI agents than people, and so this is funny how fast it is becoming adopted, and it's super, super cool. Then text to speech, having text that is narrated without the narrator, right? Cloning of a voice, and then the narration. Dubbing, going from one language to the other language. Voice cloning, changing our voice. Classifying emotions in the voice, in the face. We'll see this technology today. Real-time conversations with AI. Audio intelligence, grabbing a piece of audio and then looking at how what's in the audio, what are the nuances emotionally, what's the information that is there. And then also audio widgets, like the capacity to put an audio easily on a website, on a blog post. And then also there's readers which allow you to upload a PDF, let's say, and have that be read. So a lot of different technologies which are all kind of building on top of each other, building on top of speech to text and text to speech, and then translation in the middle, if we're talking about dubbing. And speech synthesis hasn't been is not really a new technology, and I'm going these first minutes into a bit of theory, and then we'll jump right into just demos. But I wanted to give a little bit of context. Over the last 50 years, there's been the desire to have machines talk, right? From if we think about the advance of technology with pioneers like Bell Labs, and telecommunications, there was already the desire to have machines kind of be able to answer phones and to say things that were written. And for many years, there was this declarative approach to speech. There was words, and then you could have someone record a word, and then if that word is written, then I want to kind of grab that recording and then have a person record all the words in the dictionary, and that was a brute force approach. And then another declarative approach that followed was, okay, how do I mimic the right pauses? Okay, if there's a comma, then I have a longer pause. If there's a 3 dots, then I have even longer pause. And so there's declarative approaches to to trying to figure out how to create, how to synthesize speech. And big companies like Google, Amazon, IBM, Microsoft, they've had text-to-speech and particularly text-to-speech technology for many, many years. And they relied on one trick, one kind of solution, which was this declarative approach. Say this word, and then if you define the phonetics, it can say it, and then you have a pause, and then say the next word. And this was declared in something that was called speech synthesis markup language. And so it was kind of like a declarative approach. Anyways, what we've seen in the last 2-3 years was the going from what to read, figuring out, okay, this is the text, I need to read this text, to the how to read. And the how to read was much more complicated and also much more interesting. If I'm reading a book, if it's poetry, the way I'll read it is much different than if I'm reading prose. If it is fairly emotional, if there is some sadness to the text, then I will have to read in a different way. And so we've gone from the what to read to the how to read, and we've come into emotional AI. Now, figuring out how to read something is much harder than what is written and what to read. And it's harder because it's not deterministic. If I have two people read the same thing to me, one person might read it in one way, and then another person will read in another way. So it's not deterministic. We need to figure out the way that works for me. And even with audiobooks, as I was studying this market, I saw a lot of people who didn't like, for example, they didn't buy an audiobook because they didn't like the narrator. That person specifically, which worked for many people, did not work for that person. And so, the how to read is something where we've, come towards, and that is very exciting. And now we can figure out how to read something in a map of emotions. This is an interesting image, which is about mapping emotions in a kind of vectorial space. And it comes from Hume AI, which is a tool I'll share later. And we've had to really come to grab sound, and with that sound kind of map, what are the emotions here? Is it anger? Is it happiness? Is it sadness? Everything in the spectrum. And this is the kind of work that has been done. And it's still not perfect, but it already enables a lot of potential use cases. Okay, so this was technologies. We'll go into a few tools and then into demos. And so I'm just gonna have a little pause. I invite you to do the same. How's everybody doing? Are we nobody overwhelmed? Or bored? I see low engagement in the chat, so maybe some boredom. Oh, but I see many questions. Okay. I see questions from Mickey's, Ilham. Okay, Ilham, how can you catch up with previous series of webinars? I can send you a link for this. The links for the previous webinars.
Okay. I have already shared the links in the chat. So don't worry about
perfect. Okay, so people are excited. Great, awesome. Very excited, Cosmina. Okay, awesome. I just wanted to make sure that we're at a good pace. Awesome. Okay, so we can keep going. There are many providers of speech, and in essence, there are layers. One layer is the API layer, which is kind of like the people who are really building the core technology that then everybody else uses. Initially, Google, Microsoft, IBM as well, which I didn't put here, but and Amazon, they've been working on these fundamental and foundational models for a long time, and they have these models kind of on demand. You can, on Google Cloud, you will have Google Text to Speech. On Amazon, you have Amazon Poly, which is their text to speech solution. On Microsoft, you have Azure Cognitive Services, which has a range of AI tools and includes text to speech and speech to text, all under Azure Cognitive Services. So this is kind of like cloud providers with foundational models. Now, there's been a bunch of startups which started launching and competing with these in these technologies, and ElevenLabs did an incredible job. And it was actually a couple engineers from Google who were leading Google's AI text to speech, which left Google and went on to launch ElevenLabs. And ElevenLabs had a particular approach where they kind of dumped the collaborative approach of synthesizing speech, where they put a text and then the phonetic of that word and then a pause and they kind of gave that all to the model and said, we don't use this markup language, this declarative approach, but we allow the model to figure out how much it needs to pause. And sometimes the model will pause more, sometimes less, but we don't do it in such a strict way, and that created better results. Play.ht was another, and is another solution that was leading for a long time, even like head to head with ElevenLabs, in terms of text to speech API. And they even had at some point the founder of LinkedIn, who I forget the name now, which is bad. Promoted. And then there's Murph AI, which is another solution, DeepGram, and Hume AI. Here are some API providers that are kind of like on the layer of foundational models. And then you have a lot of other applications that use the foundational models and then build on top of that. So you have things like Descript. At this point, I don't know if they surely have their also internal models, and maybe they use external models. Maybe they use something that is from a cloud provider. But what matters is that they've packaged that into a product. And inside the product, in the user experience, you'll have things that are done via text to speech or speech to text, but they're kind of not sold as an API. They are the product. And the same for Synthesia or HeyGen, which we'll cover. Here's a kind of a random list, but there are thousands. And the idea is that you can grab any of the foundational models and embed that into your product, and you can create a product that includes text to speech, includes speech to text very easily, because you rely on the technology of these API providers. Okay, so that was a lot of talking. We've been here now for 28 minutes. So there was a lot of talking, and I want this to be practical, and I believe you also want that. So we can now dive into the practical aspects. So the first use case that I want to cover is content. If we look at, the capacity of AI to generate content and how that can really streamline the generation of content across languages, that has a lot of potential. With the rise of online marketing and sales, we've really seen content creation as a differentiator for business. We see that whether people are selling a product or a service, whether it's B2B SaaS or some sort of app, everybody needs to promote their business online, and a lot of that is through content marketing. And also, in some cases, for example, of audiobooks, the product itself is also content. And so the capacity to grab this content and dub it to new languages or produce it faster, cheaper, has a lot of value. The first tool that I'll share today is actually Canva, because of the accessibility. It's a very quick win, because you probably have heard of Canva, you have used it for design, and it already has they've made a partnership with Murph AI, so it already has a text-to-speech solution incorporated, and it is very easy to use, where if you're making a video and editing that on Canva, you can already create text-to-speech. I'll share a link with you on that in a second. Let me do that. So here is a link. And the potential, for audio production done with AI is huge because of a few things that I shared before. So it's the cost and the speed, the lack of need for a narrator. And if you think about audio production before AI, you're thinking about someone going to a studio, recording for hours. They can only record 40 minutes at a time, because then they become tired and need a break. If we're talking about audiobook production, you're reading this, and eventually it becomes tiring. You make mistakes, and then someone needs to listen to the audio and find the mistakes, and you need to reread the sentences where you made mistakes. Someone needs to stitch the pieces together. It's so complicated, and after hours and hours of work and weeks of process, you get to a quality that you can think, okay, this is almost perfect, 99.5%. But it's not perfect for everyone as well. Some people love it. Some people will not like the voice and would like someone else's voice. But it's so costly that you cannot replicate it. And so you have things like Audible, where you only have one voice and you cannot choose different voices. So with AI, it becomes much cheaper and faster. So you can test many different voices, if the quality is not 100% right away. So you still need to verify, if the quality, if you're producing hours of content, it's good to have someone listen and just verify that the quality is what you're looking for. Okay, so this was really the part that was practical and more theory and practice. That doesn't make sense. So it was the conversational part, and now we're going into demos. And so the first demo that I want to show actually is a demo of this presentation, which is also an AI tool. So the way I've done this presentation is through something that is kind of a new tool for me, but that I really am enjoying. And it's called IA Presenter. And so the presentation you've been looking at is actually I did not design any of these slides. I simply wrote what I wanted to talk about, created some titles, put some images, and basically through Markdown, I wrote the slides, and this tool generated beautiful slides for me. It's not particularly an AI tool because it's a Markdown to design tool, but it is very useful, and I've really been enjoying using it. And I'm showing it to you because at the end, I'm going to show you how to produce a podcast out of this presentation. So that's the first AI tool that I'm sharing, and it's called IA Presenter. And next, we're going to get our hands dirty. So we are going into demo time, and I'm going to start by demoing ElevenLabs. So ElevenLabs is a flagship tool that, for text-to-speech has been really pioneering in terms of models, but now they've launched so many new features, voice changing, voice cloning, designing of a voice, the dubbing studio, conversational AI. And so the next 7 to 10 minutes, I'll just go through the possibilities of this tool because they're really, really exciting. And just a question for the audience, who here has tried ElevenLabs? I know that at least the Mind Valley audience here has tried it because we've had a class on it. But for those of you who haven't, I will share the tool right away. Okay, Maria has tried it. Okay, Mickey says only a little bit so far. And it's turning into one of your favorite apps. Awesome. So ElevenLabs is a really exciting one. They have this web application. They have a few solutions at the moment, but they started with a model, and having the best text-to-speech model then allowed them to expand into other areas. So now they have the text-to-speech, the voice changer, the voices, sound effects, agents, conversations. They have all of this in their tool. Okay, this should be about the same, the right size. So I'm gonna start by testing if you can listen to this audio. So this is a transcript of my invitation video, which you might have seen, and I'm going to generate a speech with a different voice. So I selected here. Am I sharing audio as well? Can people hear? No, okay. So I think I need to share here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you still cannot hear, right? Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'll try something else. we can blame the gods of demware. Let's see. That's something important to test actually for the webinars platform, is that it allows for audio share when we're doing a speech demo. Okay. Webinar. Let me look into the settings here. Fast slide first. Sorry about this. What I can do is bypass this and try something. Can you hear that?
No. But...
Okay. You don't hear it. Okay. Let me. Started, says Hilham. Still.
Yeah, he's right. Like some sound was coming at the start.
There's some sound. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to put it on my speakers and then have. This really. Because I see that in my sharing here, I don't have an audio. Okay, so this is really actually quite important.
Do you want to take some time to see the settings? I can jump in. I was not talking.
It's okay. I'll just. Well, I'll demo the I'll do the demo anyways, but there's some missing aspects because there's something about the voice, and
right.
I can try and I can try something else. Let me try this, which is just takes longer.
So this is Murphy's Law, because we tested this, but we tested outside the webinar platform. So
okay.
we are sorry about this.
And I could download it and I tried to remove the headphones.
And also Mikis is suggesting to play in another device.
Yeah.
So if you want to do it,
yeah, I want to try that. Let me see.
Yeah. So while you are doing that, I can just answer one or two questions. So most of the questions, of course, are for you, Rui. But so about the previous webinars, I have already shared all the links in the chat. So if you enter the webinar, after that, you can go up the chat. If you can see, I'm not sure if you can see the link. If you join after that, just ask me again for the links. And also answering Jamal's question, I have already answered him privately, but So Jamal was asking about the best way to inquire for help launching an MVP, in this case, an AI MVP. So this is a direct question for us, Altar. And yeah, the best way is, of course, going to our website, that is altar.io. But if you want, you can also talk directly with me or Rui. My email is philip.match@altar.io. I can also leave my email address in the chat. And I believe although the other questions are more about the content itself, so I will leave that to you. So now it's up to you. I save you 2 minutes. So
Thank you. Yeah. So I want to. I think we can still make a lot of use of this time. So what I suggest is that I can share without the audio, which kind of sucks, but I can share with you processes and basically what these tools do, and then you'll trust me and just. I tried removing the headphones, Ilham, but the thing is, because the way the webinar platform works is, I think, to reduce noise, the sound that the speakers produce, they don't go into the mic, or there's some sort of filtering system. So, and I've tried to generate hello. And try to generate this, and
hello there.
Can you hear this?
Hello there.
Yes, Rui.
Okay. It's a funny demo. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna copy this, and text to speech works in a way that I put text and output speech. Very simple. So, and I need to choose the voice, that I use for the text. In ElevenLabs text to speech, I can add text here and then select a voice. Out of these voices, they have a lot of voices that are from a library, and I can also create my own voice. And ElevenLabs allows me to create my voices in 2 ways. So I can come to voices and add a new voice. And there's basically 2 ways. Either I input audio, and that could be my voice, here instant voice clone or professional voice clone. And that is me inputting my voice. Whether I have 30 minutes, if I have longer than 30 minutes of audio, I will use the professional voice clone, and that's going to have higher fidelity. If I want something simpler, I can do the instant voice clone. Let's do instant voice clone and call it Rui live demo, and today's date for instant voice clone. And I can drag and drop an audio, or I can actually click record. And as I speak, it can record my voice and then have this voice be used for an instant voice clone. It has a maximum of 30 seconds. So I can just come here, talk for 30 seconds, and then it's going to capture my voice. And I need to give it consent. So I then will scroll down and give it consent. And at this moment, I'm not stopping to speak because I want to get to the 30 seconds. Okay, done. So easily, it got to 30 seconds. It has been recorded. I don't think there's background noise, so I don't need to remove it. And I can add a description. This is the voice I recorded live. And I'm giving here consent because, of course, having my voice is something that people could use maliciously. And I can add this voice. And now I have this voice, right? Now, I can come to my text-to-speech and paste the text. In this case, this was a text that was from a video that I created. And I can use Rui Life demo voice 1812, which then for some reason just keeps the 12 there. But I choose the latest model, and I choose the, I can play a little bit with stability and with style exaggeration. This is going to mess a little bit with the pauses. Does it have more variability in the pauses? How similar it is to my voice and the stability, and then I can generate the speech. And when I generate it, if I play it here, you won't. So now you're not listening to this. And so I'll do that again in this other laptop. Hopefully you will get to listen to that. And in the meantime, I will share with you the other way to create voices. So another way is to add a new voice and actually create a voice design. So you can prompt to generate a voice. You can create a voice. You can randomize this and get different ideas, and a sassy little squeaky mouse, or a New York accent, an angry old pirate, loud and boisterous. And you can also, ask it to tell different text. And in this case, I can auto-generate some text that sounds like a pirate, and I can generate this voice. Well, I would love for you guys to hear this one, because it was really like a pirate. And I'll see if I can share that. Voices. Okay. And angry. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate you. Okay. An angry old pirate. Let's see if we can do this.
Matey, look alive or you'll be walking the plank by morning. The winds be changing, and we've got treasures to seize and maps to chart. Keep your eyes sharp and your cutlass ready. There's no room for slackers on this ship, you hear? Double time it, lads.
Did you hear that? So that was,
yes.
that was voice one. We have a voice two.
Arr, matey, look alive or you'll be walking the plank by morning. The winds be changing, and we've got treasures to seize and maps to chart. Keep your eyes sharp and your cutlass ready. There's no room for slackers on this ship, you hear? Double time it, lads.
And we're going to voice 3.
Arr, matey! Look alive, or you'll be walking the plank by morning. The winds be changing, and we've got treasures to seize and maps to chart. Keep your eyes sharp and your cutlass ready. There's no room for slackers on this ship, you hear? Double time it, lads.
So as you can see, for storylines, for content creation, the ability to create new voices, it's just so cool that we can now make production of a video of a different storyline and have that be narrated. And we can also use something else, which is the voice changer. Because of the demo limitations and in the interest of time, I'm not gonna share all of this. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, because Cosmina was writing that she couldn't hear me. Okay. Awesome. Okay, I think it's something with Cosmina. So there's also the capacity for voice change. So the voice change means I can record something and then have another voice say it. So that's also amazing for storyline. So that is a very cool feature as well. And there is also sound effects, so you can generate things for storylines, say animal sounds or percussion, or a busy market with chicken on the background. So all of this is really cool features. It's very easy to test, and I encourage you to come and test and get the feedback, get that result, which hopefully is inspiring for you. And I would love really that this platform could allow me to share the sound. But we play with what we have. So next, I want to share with you projects. Projects goes on the same idea of text to speech, but now it allows me to upload a PDF or say an article and very quickly create a narration with whatever voice. It can be with my voice of today's demo, and I can upload, give it a URL of a blog post I have. For example, I have here a blog post of an article that I wrote with Altar, and I wrote this article on AI building blocks, and it's a pretty long article, and I can just come here, grab the link, and go to ElevenLabs to projects, paste the URL, and quality standard, put my voice, and click create. And now ElevenLabs is going to scrape the blog post. It's going to put the blog post here in the studio, and then I can generate the audio for the blog post and export it and put it there. This is really, really fast and amazing how I can generate audio so easily. And if I click to play, then it's playing with my voice, and you're gonna have to trust me on that one. So that is about projects. Now, another very cool feature of ElevenLabs is the agents. So there are conversation agents that I can deploy and have a conversation with AI where I'm interfacing with the customer support agents, for example, and it's very easy to build. I can come here, create an AI agent for support, and I can give it a name. It's Altar Customer Support Agent. Mikis, that's right. You can. ElevenLabs has a reader app, which also is very cool. So you can do that as well. And regarding the customer support agent, just like a custom GPT on ChatGPT, I can give it knowledge. It has a knowledge base, so I can add items. Let's say I want to add things about. I want to add this URL of the AI building blocks, for example, and I can now have this article be part of the knowledge base of this agent, and I can tweak, what LLM I want it to use on the backend, and even use things like tools, which we explored in custom GPTs. And with that, I can, give it a prompt and launch this conversational agent. So I'm just going to tweak here the prompt, say you're a support agent named Eric, and say you're very friendly. You work at Altar, which is a product studio. And what else can I say? And you know a lot about AI building blocks. Okay. So hopefully, and I've given it as knowledge my article on AI building blocks. So I'm going to remove the temperature. I'm going to reduce it so that it doesn't add a lot of creativity. Let's say for customer support, I want it to only say the things that I want. And I can test this agent. You will only hear my part, sadly, but I assure you that he's going to be saying something, and then I'll show you at the end what the AI said. Hey, Eric, I am doing a live demo on AI speech, and I would love to talk about AI speech from a building blocks standpoint. What can you tell me about it? Okay. Actually, the people in the audience can't really hear you because I messed up with the webinar platform. And so I will cut this conversation very shortly. So the idea here, I was interacting live with the chat, and you didn't hear what the AI was saying, but now I can come to conversations and you can actually see what the conversation was about. And there's an audio of the conversation which has been recorded. There's also transcription. So the AI started with saying, "Hi, I'm Eric. How can I help you?" And I said, "Hey, Eric, I'm doing a live demo. I would love to talk about AI speech from a building block standpoint. What can you tell me about it?" And it said, "That's awesome. I love talking about AI speech." And I said, "Okay, people in the audience can really hear me, so I'll cut it shortly." And said, "Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. It sounds like you're having some technical difficulties." So the idea here is that we can deploy these agents very easily. So as a next step, I can come here and click this widget, copy this code, paste it on my website, and I have a widget that looks like this. And people can start a call with my AI agent directly on my website. So until now, people, would chat on the website, but now they can call my agent on the website. And on top of that, ElevenLabs even provides something that they call phone numbers. So you can set up a phone number, say an American phone number or a phone number from your country, that via Twilio and their API, you have a phone number that when people call, it directly goes to this agent. And the conversations are saved in a history. So for customer support, this is really something new, and this is 2 weeks old. So I can really see how it's going to evolve over the years, that we will have, such easy access to these tools that every company will have kind of an agent that you call. Sadly, it's going to be harder and harder to call to actual humans and get actual support when the AI agent won't be able to fix everything. But hopefully, we'll stay somewhat human centered. Okay, so that was a lot on ElevenLabs, and to finalize, I want to share about their dubbing studio. And the project that I've been working on is dubbing the introduction video of this webinar into different languages. And I tried with a different set of tools. And here with ElevenLabs, it also allows me to do that. I can upload a file, and I have the file of my invitation video in English, and I can upload it and say this is webinar 3 invitation. I say this is take 2. Select the language, it's in English. I've uploaded a video, and I can say create dubbing studio, and it's going to detect the number of speakers, and I'm creating a new dub. And this is one way of dubbing content. And I'll show you the result at the end because it takes a few seconds or a few minutes to get the result. And I want to show you a few more things. So how's everybody doing? Unbelievable. Call the correct voice, says Mickey's. Okay. We are 1 hour in. I hope that people are still excited. We still have so many of us here. Sorry for that. And I'll go back to sharing the presentation. Ilham says to be tested. Really love it. Awesome. Yeah, I hope this is inspiring. I'm a little bit sad that you couldn't hear. Okay, Mickey is going to stay until the end. So that's exciting. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, there was a lot on ElevenLabs. So I'm going to take a breath. And yeah, there's just so much to share. This is moving very fast. And it is, there's so much potential in terms of what you can create, how fast you can create it. And these tools are amazing. And yeah, I think I pretty much showcased a lot of the ElevenLabs. I don't think there's a few more features, but these were really the key ones. Okay, so I touched a little bit on dubbing, and I wanna go a little bit deeper. So a lot of a lot of the idea of bringing content to new languages is it brings potential to expansion. So if you think about big content creators like Mr. Beast, or there was even a story of someone who basically grabbed Mr. Beast's videos and put them in Spanish and French and just dubbed this content and had millions and millions of views, which was much easier than actually creating a new YouTube content page, because there was content that already converted, that already was sticky and viral. And so just by dubbing that content, this person managed to get a lot of YouTube videos. And of course, then there's a copyright issue there, but the idea of dubbing is very valuable. And if we can use AI to dub things with high quality and also at low cost, that means we can reach big markets, new audiences. There's definitely IP issue there, Ilham. But yeah, so ideally we own content that we want to dub. That makes total sense. But it allows us to convert content into new languages. For example, many of us here in the call, we're part of the Mind Valley community. Mind Valley is a content platform with a lot of content in English and has been in an effort to bring it to new languages. And fingers crossed, I can convince the Mind Valley team that it's now cost effective to bring it to new languages like Portuguese, like different markets. So the idea behind dubbing that I want to pass on this slide is that dubbing is a multiple step process, right? So we have the step of going from one language in text to another language in text. There's translation, and that translation might have some errors. And then we have the translation from text to speech. So there might be errors also in how I read the text. If we're going from audio in one language to audio in another language, there's a process of speech to text, transcription, and then translation, and then narration. And so it's a 3 steps. And then if I'm creating a video in another language, then I need to grab the speech, convert to text, pass to another language, and then pass to the speech on another language. And then I still need to figure out the lip syncing of that new content. And so I went through looking at all the latest tools and seeing how I could grab one video of introducing this webinar in English and convert that into French. And I tested all the tools available, and I came to HeyGen as the best tool. And a kind of a combination of HeyGen and Descript is what I would recommend. So I have here in the next slides a bunch of tools: Synthesia, Speechify, HeyGen, and I've tested all of them. And what I would recommend is to use first HeyGen for the conversion, and then use Descript. I can go into demo and show you the outcomes of some of these tools, but given that we're limited with audio, I feel like it will have a limited impact. So what I want to show you instead is just a process with Descript and HeyGen and how it looks on the platform side. This is still ElevenLabs. So a lot of these platforms are converging to something like this, right? ElevenLabs provides audio on the bottom, and you have the speech in one side, and you can create a new language and say, now I want it in French, and add this language. It starts to generate, speech to speech, speech to speech, text in one language to text in another language, and then it's generating the text in French, let's say. And here, I think I might need to click generate audio. Yeah, so it generates the audio in the other language, and that's how you do it. But for ElevenLabs, because it's a text, it's an audio solution. If I play it, it changes the audio, but my image, my lips are still the English ones. They're still the video is still the English one. If I come to this script, I can start a new project and start a video project. Upload a first video that I made for the webinar. And the first thing it does is it's gonna transcribe. It's gonna do speech to text. So it's transcribing the video I gave it, and I can select myself as a speaker here, and select the English of this video. And now it's gonna grab the video and it's gonna transcribe it. So this is a first step of speech to text. And now I need to go from text to one language to the text in another language. And that is easily done also in a Descript platform. Let's give it a second or two. Thank you for staying around. It's been an hour, 16 minutes. I'm excited that so many of you decided to stay. And okay, so after transcription, then I have here my video and the text. And if you haven't seen this script before, what it promises is this capacity to listen to the video, and I have here basically a text that I can edit. And of course, when I record the first time, I have things like these fillers. What I just did, which is filler words, and I can edit them. I can delete filler words in the text, and it's actually cropping, it's cutting the parts of the video that have it. And so that really simplifies the process of video editing. And if I want to do dubbing, then what I will do is that I'll come here to Underlord and click Translate. And I can translate into any language that they have available. And I have a lot of French friends, so I translated this to French, and I click here, dub speech, and it already identified my voice because I set this beforehand. Very simple setup, but the idea is that now it grabs the text that it transcribed, and it generates the text in the new language. So it grabbed text in English and generated the text now in French. And with that text, it's generating the speech on top of it. Yeah, Mickey, you say you have I have 43 more minutes, so that's good. And so now it's generating the speech, but again, it does not do lip sync. So in my experiments, it created the speech in that language. It sounds like my voice because it has my voice trained before, but it does not do the lip sync, meaning that the video still doesn't feel real. And I tried with Speechify as well, which was a surprise for me because Speechify was a consumer-facing app with a reader. What you have now, ElevenLabs Reader, that was the product of Speechify before, but now they have launched this, which is also a studio. I uploaded the same video, and it also gives me the transcription, the audio, and the video, and I can also create new languages. And I can click translate, and the original is from English and translate to any, let's say, to Brazilian Portuguese. Anyways, I tested these platforms, and the best outcome is coming from HeyGen. So it completely recreated the video with lip sync, and it looks really, really good. And I'll try to I'll show you the outcome at the end. And yeah, so that is the best outcome. What I did afterwards was to use Descript for captions also. So I have here a video that was created in HeyGen, put it back into Descript, and now with Descript I can add captions, and I can also do editing on Descript. So if I were to want to create the content in French, I would maybe have someone who speaks better French than me to review the text, and then to edit where it needs editing, and then it would be good to go. So hopefully this was a good, sharing around dubbing, around what is possible with dubbing, and all these tools, from Descript to Synthesia to HeyGen. I think there's a lot of these tools which are competing and are launching like new features, and they're becoming somewhat similar as well in what they can offer. But the quality does look different if you go to Speechify versus if you go to HeyGen. And to give you even more value, I've decided to make a comparison table. So if you are looking into dubbing, I suggest go with HeyGen. With $89 a month, you can have unlimited videos. So you can generate, thousands of hours of video for $89, which is not a lot. They have a lower subscription, HeyGen, but it has a limitation of maximum 5 minutes per video. This unlimited has a limitation of 30 minutes per video. But it is the only solution here that has the lip sync and that the content actually looks like it was you who said it. I posted on my social media this video of me speaking in French, and yeah, a lot of my friends were surprised and couldn't tell the difference between the French me and the English me. So that was cool. So I recommend, if you're a content producer, to just go and test these solutions and combine a few for the best outcomes. If you can, combine Descript and HeyGen, and I think you'll be really in a good place. So we talked about. Thank you, Ilham. Thank you. We talked about content creation and dubbing, but there are many other areas of marketing and sales and ways to generate, outcomes for your business. And sales requires, intelligence. And now with AI, we can really analyze and learn to be better at figuring out what our customers need and providing that. And so a couple more things that I want to share today is, we talked about automated calls with ElevenLabs. I showed how you can automate some conversations that sound human and that you trace, and they're easy to deploy for your business. So that's really exciting. And another thing I want to share is about audio intelligence and even video intelligence on sales. So I will share a couple tools here. One is called DeepGram, and I'm gonna try and share it in a way that you can listen. Which is gonna be interesting. Let's go. So here's where I will be sharing. Share. DeepGram. Okay, so this is DeepGram's website, and they have a bunch of solutions. They have an API. What I want to share today is simply this example that they provide of their API. They have text-to-speech like ElevenLabs, like we talked before, but then they have something very interesting, which is the speech-to-text and further the audio intelligence. So in terms of the speech-to-text, I'm going to play here this audio, and I'm going to play it in a way that you can listen. And I'm going to, this is not good. Okay. Sound. We're running out of time, but I can stay extra 30 minutes. I really don't mind. If you gotta go, you gotta go. But I'm excited about this tool, so I'm just gonna stay. You'll forgive me, Philippe, right?
Yeah, no problem.
No, he's going away.
No, I'm here. You can continue.
Okay.
Yeah, just remember to answer some questions. We have lots of questions.
We have lots of questions. Okay. Yeah. One promise: whatever I don't answer live, we have these questions. I'll just send, and I think we have people's emails because you registered. So
right.
If there's anything that's missing, I'll just send you over email. Okay, so I'm going to share with you this call Nike customer. If I click, this is, and now you're not listening, but now you will be able to listen. Now.
Hi, thank you so much for calling Nike. This is Allison. How can I help you today?
Hey, I was supposed to receive a shoe order last Tuesday, and it's now Wednesday, a week later. So, what's going on?
So, hopefully you listen to, in essence, what is here. Hey, thank you so much for calling Nike. This is Allison. But the idea is that this is a real call center call, and you can do analysis on it. So if you have proper speech to text, you can classify speaker 0 from speaker 1, who's the customer service agent and who is the client, right? And aside from just having, thank you for confirming, Maria, that you heard it. Aside from having the transcription, you can have what they call audio intelligence. And that is a summary. You can ask for a summary. You can have sentiment analysis, meaning that you can have classifications of, for each sentence that was said, was it neutral? Was it positive? Was it negative? And have some sort of metrics, for your every client call. So you could think about a call center for a company that has hundreds of calls, thousands of calls a day. And this is information that traditionally is very hard to process. Like, how is my customer support team handling things? What are the metrics? Are they happy? Are people happy when they get a call from us? So all of these things, now you can use AI to do sentiment analysis and do also what is called intent detection. So you can have, from a call, you can have the classification of what was the intent of the call. It was to change the payment info, and it came from this sentence: "Hey, just trying to change the payment info on the website. I was wondering if I could do it on the phone." And so it's kind of like some classification or topic detection. And so this can help us analyze conversations. And this can be customer service conversations. It can be sales conversations. It can be, whatever interaction, even like internal team. We have now a lot of the transcribers, these AIs on our calls. And for internal calls, they can give us the summaries. For external calls, they can give us feedback. And so this is available via API, meaning that we can build systems with this, and it's super interesting what it can do. So that is DeepGram. And okay. How was this exciting? Was DeepGram exciting? And I see, Mickey's, you posted something called Poised. I don't know Poised. I can click on it, and your AI feedback partner for presentation. Looks cool. I'll have to look at it afterwards and provide some feedback, but it does look very interesting. Okay, so we covered DeepGram for audio intelligence, and then the next tool I want to touch on is called Hume AI, and it takes this idea of the analysis of intelligence, and it takes it even a step further, Maria. It's getting really, really interesting, because it can classify not only my voice, and classify my voice around the emotions around my voice, but even my facial expressions in real time. And that is pretty awesome and a bit crazy. So I'm gonna share with you the next tool, which is called Hume AI. So I shared with you this graph. It was part of my presentation, and it's a graph on the kind of the vector map of emotions, right? Amusement, excitement, awe, and then on relief, and then here disappointment, And this is research from Hume AI, which is one very, very interesting company that was a research center, and they're just now coming up with applications of the technology. They have launched a empathetic voice interface, which is kind of a emotional AI. But what I want to show today is this expression measurement, and it's so interesting. And look at this. So it basically they have a model that is analyzing in real time my facial expressions. So if I become a little bit more doubtful or, confused, it's actually, looking at my face, and in real time, it's measuring my emotions on this. So you can think about this as imagine like your sales calls, your sales conversations input into a system like this that analyzes how happy or how sad or how, confused you were at any given moment. And that is pretty scary in a way, but also it can give you real feedback for every conversation you've had, and you can improve over time with this. And there is the facial expressions, but then also there is analysis on the speech, so on the vocals, and here it requires a little bit more time. But I do believe that it's gonna get some information at some point here listening to my speech. And yeah, for speech prosody, it also gives some, some analysis of the emotions that are happening in real time in my speech. And there's some here also, this is vocal burst. It's kind of like laughter or this sounds, doubt. Yeah. It kind of, you see, it kind of analyzes the kind of like these bursts. If I'm having more kind of breaks or there's, and then I can have activity here. There was doubt, boredom, distress, disappointment. I don't think this really classify well what was happening, but it's interesting where the technology is going, and in a way that is classifying. And we see here that it's kind of a mix, and it's moving very fast, a mix of different parameters. But it is definitely an interesting tool to keep in mind. Okay. We are way over time. I'm going to keep sharing because this is, do we have questions? Who do we have questions? Any pending questions?
I believe that you have lots of questions.
I have a lot of questions. Yeah. Does AI presenter work on Windows, for example, from Mickey's? No, that's why I'm skipping from computer to computer, which is a bit sad, because I do have a Windows computer and a Mac, and I'm kind of doing half, which is not ideal. Okay. Then this is really coming to an end. So audio masterization, there's a couple tools that I want to share as well. The Lander and Adobe Podcast are the tools that I've found to be really useful for this. Right now, speech generation is becoming so good that you don't really need to master it. But earlier on, I was using Lander for masterization, for increasing the audio quality after after an audio had been generated, and when I didn't like the quality, I would use Lander to master it. And then there's audio tools that you can use that are more traditional audio editing tools that you can use to then refine and adjust the quality. And coming to the very final tool of today, which is Notebook LM, which you probably have heard of and probably you have used. And I just want to share with you a cool reason why I made this this presentation also in a presenter is because I can then come here to my presentation and I can Control A, copy the whole presentation, and then I can go to Notebook LM and I can create a new notebook, paste text, paste my presentation here, insert, and now I am generating a whole podcast on this presentation. And I can click on audio overview and I'm generating this podcast. And I've done this before, so I want to share the result with you. And so that was I think this one, audio overview. This one is generating, and I have one from before. No, generating. They have the same name because they because I was testing it before. Let's see, most recent. So the second one, and the first one. For some reason, both say it's being generated. Let me test this. Where else? So yeah, this podcast is being generated. I'm just gonna wait for it to be generated, and we can listen to it. And in the meantime, we can tackle questions and wrap up this long webinar. Thank you for staying. And yeah, maybe Philippe, do you want to grab a few questions and help me go through them? Any questions that I haven't answered?
Yes, of course. Let me check. So I will try to be fair with everybody. So because there are some people that ask more than one question, and so I'm gonna try to grab the most interesting ones. So Justin, this last question is asking if we have observed that using a gen for cloning videos, you might spot the difference with your voice. What are your recommendations on that? So is this last question on the Q&A section?
Okay. The last question is for Hey Jen, the difference with your voice. So both in HeyGen and all these tools, if I'm inputting my video so I'm inputting my video and it's extracting my voice in English and it's trying to figure out my voice in French. But my voice in French might be, even I don't know what my voice in French could sound like. Je parle un peu, mais c'est pas facile de... I don't know, like how does my voice sound in French? And there could be ways that I could improve that quality of the voice. If I look at HeyGen particularly, maybe they have AI voice. So I can actually create, let me see if I can share two screens at the same time. Maybe I can, yeah. So here, if I come to HeyGen, I have my avatars and I can create avatars, but then I also have AI voice. And I can come and create a new voice. Recordings will be used, and I can upload an audio file. If I wanted to upload my voice in French, let's say I could read a French text and have that be a voice that is trained of my voice in French, I believe that I could overlap that to my video. Here I have the video, and I just uploaded the video and asked for a translation. And this translation is the one in French. But here I even have things like enhanced voice, and this is interesting. I have not explored all of the possibilities here, but I see that, you know, there's some like enhanced voice here, and I can regenerate, turn on captions. It's gonna okay. I click turn on captions, and now it's pending because it is it's waiting for the result. But I believe there are ways to improve the quality of the sound. To be honest, I was really happy with the outcome, to an extent that I just published it. I thought, okay, this is amazing that I get to share my voice in French, and it didn't sound strange at all.
Okay, so another question is also from Justin, but only because I know that Mick was also interested. Is this question that is in this script? Can you load your voice from ElevenLabs?
On this script?
Yes.
That's a good question. That's a good question. So.
Hard question.
A hard question. First, I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas, because we're coming to the end of 2 hours, and I had this extra monkey to share, and that's really the last slide of the presentation, and then I can tackle this. I can stop this presentation, and I can tackle the last. This question. So let's go to this script in ElevenLabs. So entire screen here. Let's share. So I'm in this script, and the voices I have here AI speakers. And I only have this my voice, but I can add a new AI speaker. Let's say that I'm adding Felipe's voice as an AI speaker. And then the next thing would be to ask Felipe to read this. I want the script to create an artificial version of my voice, and either send me a recording, and then I would choose a file and send that, or record, and it's now recording from my mic. So the way I created this one voice, it was very simply to do this, to say, you know, and I can even redo it, where I just click record, and I say I want the script to create an artificial version of my voice, so I can use to create speech that sounds like me. I'm training my voice by reading the following statement. Imagine a blue ball spinning in space. That's our Earth. On it, there are tall mountains, deep oceans, and huge forests with animals. In cities, people talk, play, and work. We all have different voices. Some people speak softly, while others are loud. Every day, we tell stories, ask questions, and share jokes. So very, very simply, I can create this voice here. If I wanted to create a ElevenLabs voice, what I could do is actually, because ElevenLabs, as we saw, I can create like this pirate voice that is really cool, right? So if I wanted to create a new speaker that is a pirate, then what I would do is I would copy this text, and it purposely does not allow me to copy, but I can do a screenshot of this. And if I do a screenshot of this, and go to ChatGPT and give it a screenshot and say transcribe. And then I would grab this text, go to ElevenLabs, and then give it to the pirate. Go to ElevenLabs. Come to ElevenLabs text to speech. Let's say ElevenLabs text to speech. Paste this here. Choose the pirate. I have. Did it save? I have here. Oh, did I not save? Maybe I didn't save the pirate, but I have here a old whiskey voice, and now I can generate the speech, and it generates the speech, and then I can download it and upload it to the script. Here, I click on choose a file, upload that, and now I will have kind of my AI generated voice on the script. Now, this is not ideal because I cannot. I mean, what I need to do is that in the input video that I generate, then I will need to generate. I'll need to use also this voice so that there's no conflict between voices in a way. So I hope that was clear and useful.
So maybe one final question, because we are almost in 2 hours. So Mickey's also asks if you make a lot of 5-minute videos on Agent, you could then edit and combine them together into one, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So HeyGen has that limitation for their lower tier. It does, you can then stitch them together, whether using Canva or there are many video editing tools. So you can, I think Canva is one of the easiest ways where you can just stitch together videos. So you could do that with HeyGen.
And so because this was fast, so one last question from Maria Colina. So she asks, have you tried this conversation agent? I imagine the one that you tried, that you did the demo. So, and she's asking, how do you rate it against Delphi customer support?
Delphi customer support. To be honest, Maria, I know this question comes after the talk of yesterday by Iman. I have not explored Delphi customer support too much. I really haven't. What I can say about the speech of this conversational agent is that what you probably have tried to talk to ChatGPT using the voice. If you have tried that, it is very similar. Like the quality is really, really good. The Delphi customer support, I guess, it's another solution that also can be good, but this conversation agent is very good. So it's a prompt to you, try it yourself. It's really quick and simple. Also, I see a very quick to answer question from Jamal. Is Murph AI already integrated with Canva? Yes, that's exactly why I shared that in the beginning, is because you go on Canva and Canva has a bunch of integrations and it has already Murph AI there. I shared a link to that.
Cool. So
okay.
I think that's it. Maybe you can answer all the other questions later through email. We can see that together. And also maybe, first thing is, of course, apologize for all the problems in terms of sound sharing that we had here today. So of course, sorry about that. And maybe I can suggest that in the future you can somehow record some of these demos and share with these people, because they stayed here for almost 2 hours. So it would be
Yes.
valuable and fun at the same time to share some of these really funny demos that I got the chance to hear, and they couldn't not. So.
Yes. So in the new year, we'll be doing a lot of videos and recording all these demos, like kind of in chunks, and I'll be sharing that with the community. And thank you so much to everyone really for staying for all this time. Thank you, Philippe, for co-hosting this with me. And Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you. And I hope this was useful and inspiring to you. And if you have any questions, if there's more that I can help with, or any questions, we're here. So thank you.
Just some final words. So this is recorded. So we're gonna shut the recording until tomorrow. Usually it's after 24 hours, so don't worry about that. And also, we don't have any new webinar plan for now, but we plan to do more webinars in the future next year. So we have already, of course, your emails. You're going to be notified when we have some news about that.
Yeah. So these are the 3 webinars we started with AI. We're thinking to expand that to product. There's a lot that we can talk about. We would love to get feedback also on what you guys would like to hear from us. So let's keep a tight feedback loop. Also, what you liked and what you see we could improve, aside from the technical issues. I already want to improve that for sure. I just want to get your feedback also on many areas. So thank you
very much. Yeah, and Merry Christmas to everybody. See you. Bye-bye.
Cheers.